Groundbreaking, radical, iconic. The world of branding has evolved.
Irrespective of what you say, whatever people are speaking and thinking about a brand today becomes your brand's perception. Consumers own it today. Consumers want to know that the brand that they're using and the brand they trust is actually being recognized and endorsed by custodians in the advertising and branding industry.
Great brands are like stars. They shine brightest in austere times and bestow pleasure on us. But they're more than this. They also create sustainable shareholder value added. And this is why I'm so committed to this initiative for the most admired brands in Asia.
Brand is the experience where promise meets expectation, and White Page International resonates that experience with this book, Most Admired Brands and Leaders.
So at White Page International, we present the most admired brands, the products and business leaders, the passionate brands that have created a trust in the market through their recall, through the growth that they have shown, through the innovations that they have done for the products, for the services, and we showcase these brands through different formats that we have to offer.
Asia's most admired brands and business leaders not just highlights the brands and their journeys and their success stories, but is also a very credible source of information for various global brands and investors who are looking to invest in these brands or in the economy of certain countries to which these brands belong.
Hello and welcome to a special discussion on our latest brand expression, the most admired brands and leaders. An elucidation of the best brands from Asia and India. Over the next few minutes, we'll be discussing what makes these brands the best in Asia and the best in India. Now, Ashish, as a seasoned professional of the industry, briefly, how would you define a brand and its development right through the modern day?
That part of your question is actually critical because today brands can be built as well as destroyed literally in seconds, particularly when we live in an era which is so much of social media. It's very hard for a brand to make a connect with a consumer on a long-term basis, as well as keep it sustained and sustainable today 365, 24/7. So I think the successful brands are those who, in today's context, in the modern day context, those who are relating to different consumer sets are not talking to them. So the era of broadcasting is over, but are actually listening and communicating and having a two-way dialogue going on.
Which actually brings us to our next question, Kavita. What are the admirable factors that have an impact on brand awareness?
Brand awareness actually refers to the recognition that exists in a customer's mind for that particular brand. And brand awareness is built through the brand name, which could be a very powerful brand name like the McDonald's brand name, or the company's lineage. So for example, Tata works a lot. It lends its name frequently across its product brands. So you have Tata Salt, you have Tata Nano, you have Tata Starbucks, so on and so forth. And you also have very powerful celebrities, advertising campaigns, public relations campaigns to really promote your brand. So all of these actually lend to brand awareness.
Mr. Bedraj, you are here with us from Godrej Interior. Briefly, how does it feel to be selected as one of Asia's top 100 brands?
Oh, it's awesome. Awesome, not because of the fact that we are selected as one of the most admired brands, but because I think taking from where she was talking about the brand, I think it's good to talk about an identity, but and the connect that she was talking about, connecting with the users, I won't say customers really, it's the users of the brand. It's also the brand that needs to live up to what you're talking, what the brand is talking. Yeah, and so that physical experience is very critical. I think in our case, the formation of the brand is not done only by an agency or us as a team, but I think a large set of users are involved in developing the brand, developing the experience around it. So you're talking about social as a platform. Right. So a large part of interaction, large part of conversations happen around the brand. So where you actually get users to talk about what kind of products, what kind of experiences in a retail outlet, or what kind of communication that goes out. Where is it that I should be present as retail outlets? So it's multiple pieces which comes in not as coming in from the owner of the brand, but actually from users, and that determines where we go. I think that's the critical part. Today if we are winning the award, it's only because of my users.
Amisha, You have been inculcated into this illustrious list of Asia's top 100. Now, very quickly, how do you feel? How does it feel to be entitled as Asia's top 100?
It's a very humbling experience, actually, the kind of honor which has been bestowed. We really feel honored, at the same time more responsible to live up to the brand promise. I think that over the years, what has mattered for us, almost a journey of more than 7 decades, has been a consistency in delivery of what we stand for. And typically in financial markets, the intermediation by way of actual people-driven, service-driven industry, so it has to be widespread across my teams, across geographies, that what we stand for, that is what customers should experience. And that's how this has been a very, very encouraging, humbling experience. At the same time, makes us more responsible to our customers and prospects.
Mr. Govindaraju, you here with us from Microlabs Limited, and Dolo 650 has been selected as India's top 50 brand. Very quickly, how does it feel to be part of this illustrious list?
Well, Dolo has been on an award-winning spree for the last 4 years. 2010, we started as the best PLC managed brand by one of the marketing research organization, followed by awards. Of course, this is a very finest moment for the brand. Of course, it has been a long journey for the brand, and little product differentiation, and which delivered a particular promise with our end customers. Of course, to our surprise, the brand has even gone beyond our customers. It has gone to the end users, and end users also, the awareness is coming to the end users as well, to the patients, the general public. They know Dolo 650.
Now, the Admired Brands and Leaders is mainly a research-driven property. So, Mr. Ashish Bhasin is actually the executive chairman of the jury. Now, as part of the jury, what made you select these most admired brands?
However, the jury looked at a few areas. So, for example, for it to be a most admired brand, it should be a well-known in terms of salience, etc. There's no point if you're only admired by your wife and mother, right? There's got to be a wider audience that should admire it. The second thing we looked at was the goodwill the brand has generated in a period of time on that. Various other factors, but I would say trust was very important, because brands, for them to be admired, I think Amisha said that, and Govindaraju also said that, for a brand to be admired, trust is critical for it. And we know many, like the House of Tatas or so many, they stand for trust. So these are brands that have typically built trust around what they are. And one critical factor that we used was innovation. That to me is a very important factor, because if you are going to look at the long-term or the longevity of a brand and its connect with the consumer, in a fast-changing world, today the consumer is changing every day, literally, right? So how much innovation or how much emphasis to innovation has that brand put in consistently over a period of time?
With that, we come to the end of our discussion. Thank you so much for being part of it.
We know of a lot of awards that go around in the country, in the region, in Asia or globally. Some of them are genuinely a lot of hard work, research, and then it goes, and some of them aren't. But with White Page, I think what I strongly believe is they've done a good job.
Well, I had the good fortune to be asked to chair the jury for the most admired brands. So it was a nice experience. I went through a lot of brands. It was a good learning experience, because you get to know so much about brands that have been around for so long, which sometimes in your day-to-day life you tend to ignore and you forget about it.
I think this event property, this intellectual property that you all own, which is the most admired brands, is one of the best properties that India could have asked for.
I think the match has been very well created, and a good balance has been created in selection. So I think they have been doing an extremely good execution of what they promised.
fantastic job. The book is really awesome, and the kind of preparations, kind of effort you have put in to make this event is really great.